Ladies and gentlemen, we're live, doing it live. Your boy Cool McCain. Above me, we got the one and only Key in the building. It's Key herself. On this side, because you know how these screens be tripping. One day is backwards, the other day is right. Right over here on the other side, beside Key, we got Diva in the building.
What it do?
And we got a special guest tonight, y'all. The man Benny Boom from Benny Boom Designs, Productions, etc. Period. All that good stuff. What's
the
up,
man
Benny?
design West Philly.
All right, y'all. So, before we get into anything, there's one thing we got to do. We got to get just that little extra bit of pumped upness, a little extra bit of hype and all that. Y'all know what the program is. But just in case we got somebody who may have just stumbled across us for the first time, it's always going to be the updates, which is our form of news. We got our player of the week from the game. We got our weakest link from the game. We're going to talk about and review week 1. And then we're going to jump into week 2 preview, near to the end of the show. So, hey, it's going to be a wild ride. I think we got a lot of things to talk about from week 1, including one player that decided that he had to let his bodily fluids release on another one and all that good stuff. We're going to get into it. But before we do that, we just needed an extra bit of hypeness. So let's get it.
The kick is away, and the kick it's good! And the Eagles win!
It's hard to come to South Philadelphia and leave here with the win. We just don't come to Philadelphia and leave here with the win.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin!
All right, good people. It's that time. So I've been in the lab a little bit. So got a little something. This is what we're hearing first. Yes, sir. So we're getting a little transitions and stuff. We're trying to do a little something. A little
fancy now. We're getting a little fancy now.
Just a tad bit, y'all.
Watch out
so,
now.
Updates. We got a lot of things that's been going on. So what I do is let's go one by one. So everybody get a chance to throw a little update in there. We're gonna start with our guest, Benny Boom. Give us a piece of news from the Philadelphia Eagles in the past week, sir.
Well, this past week, as you know, that we was waiting and anticipating on what's going to happen with Jalen Carter. We'll get through that later, but you all should know. But here's some new. Other news that I just picked up an hour ago that Adoree Jackson will be starting.
Oh,
but
they said that a few days ago.
This is his last chance. If he can't get it done with the mediocre receivers that Kansas City has, Howie is going to be pulling the plug. Even though he's trying to, something is going down between the Eagles and Cleveland because they just restructured. What's his name? Denzel Ward's contract. So, and he has 2 years left. So something going down. Ian Rappaport was talking about they are in discussion, and that's all I got on the cornerback.
All right, Diva, give us a piece of Eagles news.
Good old Dallas Goedert is hurt, as we know, as we always predicted. Dallas is going to miss at least 2-3 games out of the season. It never fails, and he has a
3 or 4.
sprained knee. Yeah, we hope it ain't that many, but he got a sprained knee. Don't know where he got it, how he got it, but my man got a sprained knee. So there you go. He's day to day. Go ahead, Keith.
Mr. Will Shipley is injured, fractured rib. 2 to 16 weeks. That's the all damn season. When he do that, I don't know. But because of his fractured rib, Howie decided to go trade for Mr. One Tank Bigsby from the Jaguars. But you know what? I ain't mad at that because he can do special teams. And there you have it. Special teams. So I ain't mad at that. So Howie gets to, and we got him for pennies, a 6th and a 7th rounder. And we still got 10 picks left next year. So Tank Bigsby, he was at practice today taking punts and kicks. So he's good to go.
So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the low-hanging fruit since Benny wanted to talk a little bit about it, but not really get into it. I'm gonna go ahead and take the low-hanging fruit. Jalen Carter decides, because he's goaded by one Rain Dakota Prescott, to spit on him. But let me give you the backstory, because I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying he's wrong. Well, I am saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's right, but that was chopping up for the mouth at him. Spit between the linemen at Jalen Carter. Didn't hit him, but spit at him. Of course, he's trying to maintain that, oh, yeah, I wasn't trying to hit anybody. Of course not, because you just seen him get suspended, so you ain't going to say, yeah, I spit at him. But he spit at him, said a few things to him. Jalen Carter ended up walking up to him. They had a few words, and then Jalen Carter decided to let loose some body fluid on him, spit on that. And this was all during the stoppage of play, because I'll go ahead and throw two out there, and then, everybody's going to go around. One, Ben Van Summeren, same type of leg injury that we had to Nakobe Dean, but his knee didn't displace. He's out for the season. He's on IR. So they were getting him off the field, which took so long, which allowed this whole little thing to happen. So, you got all these talking heads and agenda pushers in the media. Jalen Carter should be suspended for 2 or 3 more games because that's just a disrespectful, nasty thing to do. Lo and behold, 2 days later, Florida has a defensive lineman that spits on the player that didn't spit at him. I didn't see the same media outrage for him that there was for Jalen Carter when he was provoked. And again, you're wrong for spitting on anyone, but provoking someone, is different from someone just getting mad and spitting on you. And also, everybody was running around talking about the suspension. But what you all failed to remember is if you're going to suspend Jalen Carter for spitting on Dak Prescott any more than 1 game, which essentially it already was, then you got to suspend Dak Prescott for instigating and spitting at Jalen Carter. And since we know that the NFL is not going to suspend one of their boys, they let him some Dak Prescott, I knew Jalen Carter wouldn't get a further suspension. Said it from when it happened, because you have to understand how it works. You can't spit at somebody, they spit on you, they get suspended for 3 games and nothing happens to you. It's not how it works. So I already knew the NFL was going to find a way to freak that and keep it where Carter just missed that game and nothing else happened so that they could protect Dak Prescott. Because, that would have been outrage if that didn't happen from the Players Association. So you got that. Then it came down, of course, that Jalen Carter's got the 1-game suspension. So basically he is being suspended for the game that he missed and being ducked that whole paycheck, and their NFL's cutting their losses there.
Yep, his game check.
Yeah. And then, you had local media here where I live in Charlotte, and some national media out there was like, oh, you're setting a bad precedent. What if somebody plays 5 plays and then spits on somebody?
You got to be provoked to spit on somebody, or somebody has to do something to you.
Well, the thing
that
is,
involves spitting.
Outside of all that, you set the precedent now. You get a game suspension for spitting. So if 5 plays in the game, you spit on somebody, you kicked out of that game, you miss the next game.
Well, first of all, people in Charlotte need to be worried about them Panthers. Don't be worried about the Eagles. Y'all got your own issues.
Right? Worry about Bryce Young and T-Mac.
We could do a 5-hour show on that.
Y'all don't even need to even say a word. Okay, mind your business.
Them and local media and national media, because it's a narrative. I feel like about trying to hate on the boys.
It's a narrative because it's the Eagles. Now, ain't nobody say nothing about the haymaker that was thrown at the Chiefs game.
Yep.
Never said about that. But because it's the Eagles, we got to be on national news for something.
Yep, that's why.
Somebody was suspended there or ejected out of the game. He threw a whole full-blown haymaker. But okay. All right.
Any other thoughts y'all want to have on the Jalen Carter situation?
No, that's over and done with. We got our boy back. Let's go on and whoop these.
Right, it's
You
done
know
in the
what?
past. Let's focus on the Chiefs.
Yeah, these boys behind me. Let's hope that happens behind me.
All right. Benny, give us another piece of news if you got one.
Well, we all know we don't know where Tank Bigsby going to be. You know, if he's going to play. So it looked like AJ Dillon might be Saquon's backup. I was reading that on Yahoo Sports earlier today, which won't be a bad thing because, you know, I was at the game last week, and the 3 touches or 2 touches that he had, you know, he did move the chain. Another update that I saw was what's his name? Zacharias Smith will play a big role this week.
Zadarius Smith.
They need that pressure that they did not get from everybody but one guy, Josh Uche.
Well, you got to think about this though. We want to talk about the pressure. Jordan Davis was getting double teamed the whole game because Jalen Carter wasn't there. You know,
Yes,
Jalen Carter's there. Jordan Davis gets more room to attack. You know, and that changes all the rotations because they only had like 4 guys to rotate after Carter.
Sir.
So it cut down the rotation. So I think even if Jalen Carter just played, their rush looks a lot better. You know what I'm saying? That's just my 2 cents.
And that's all I got.
All right, Diva, anything else from you, man?
Man, I got some news. I'm trying to figure out why in the you know what was Quez Watkins in our stadium working out for what? Can somebody make that make sense to me? While Butterfingers, I can't catch the ball in the Super Bowl, Quez Watkins was even allowed to come to the stadium and think I have any type of hope or chance that he might become another Philadelphia Eagle again. I'm waiting for somebody to explain that to me because I'm
maybe
baffled.
his gym membership went out. Maybe he just needed a workout.
I don't know. Then you go to Planet Fitness. It's $10. Okay. You do not step foot. You aren't allowed to step foot in Link. Okay, you are banded for life.
They brought him in.
Catch that ball.
They brought him in, but they let him go, Diva.
That made me mad.
I don't have an answer for you, Diva. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know if someone else does, but I don't have an answer for you.
Well, I'm about to find Howie, and he's gonna have to explain himself.
Anything else, Key?
Well, Vic Fangio, of course, you know, he said that Dory Jackson is going to be the starter. He said he just has to have better technique. Vic, I hope you're right because if he messes up again, you gotta take him out. Because the little time that he went in there, I was ecstatic, and then when he got put back in, I'm like, oh, I thought he got benched. So, but Vic, I'm trusting your defense here. I'm trusting you. So he said he just has to have better technique and have his hips under him. Let's see.
I court that. I court his press conference. There's a reason why Adoree Jackson hasn't been re-signed by Giants and the Titans, and now look, we see it on the field right now. If you was getting burnt in practice, and you was getting burnt in those joint practices, and then you get burnt in the first game, he's a liability, man. We can't afford these liabilities. We trying to repeat. And I'm telling you, you should have heard what they were saying in the crowd, man. I mean, even though you know how well, kid, you know, we very rude. Everybody was like, "Get him out of there!" They were screaming. I don't know if y'all heard it on the TV.
I would have had the whole section calling him doo-doo butter.
I'm telling you, there's no way in hell Vic must be getting nice in his old age.
That's definitely not true. If that was true, he wouldn't have shipped off CJGJ.
There
He
you go.
definitely
Thank
not
you.
getting ice in his old age.
Thank you.
Because number one, he want to fake that he was hurt a little bit, and then you gonna come back in there the second half. Come on, dog. You was hurt, all right. Because they was, they was all up in there. CD was all up in there. Pickens was all up in there.
Yeah,
He
you
played,
hurt because you couldn't cover.
but soon as Smith came in the joint, when Bennett got in the game, he was shutting down. Even though he got that pass interference, but he let his presence known. Look, I'll smack you. I'll take the penalty.
That pass interference was the bull, but okay.
We're going to get into all that when we get to the game. But first, we got some comments. The comments is rocking today, so we about to get into it. So Little G Griffin says, I'm a big fan of Eagles season. Better Eagles kick Chiefs' butts. I love how he take the same thing and just replace Cowboys with Chiefs that he's been saying all offseason. So I love it, Little G. What's going on, man? Glad you are in the building. Jake from State Farm.
State Farm, 808.
Hey,
Jake, you got Hawaii in the building.
Hey, Jake, what's going on, man? We need to get some tips on where to go because I'm trying to get over there for, a week or so. Chill out, man. So,
go Birds.
Appreciate you. Go Birds.
We got Birds fans in Hawaii. Okay.
We got Birds fans all over.
We got Bird fans in England.
Mm-hmm.
We got Bird fans in Africa.
Yeah, we got Bird fans all over.
Over the world.
Scotland.
Yeah.
Lil G Griffith says, my aunt's birthday is on September 21st.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Auntie. All right. Lil G also says, let me go to Jake first. So Jake says, Adoree can't even stop a parked car. You ain't lying. You ain't lying, Jake. Bruh.
That's bad.
And it's part 2, and you can't stop it.
It is what it is. Lil G says, I'm going to be Uncle times 2. It's a boy. Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, man.
Jake from State Farm says, I don't blame Dallas for being hurt. Did y'all see the hits he was taking in the game? So I'm not blaming Dallas, Jake. I'm just saying it's normal.
Yeah,
to me, it's normal for Jake to get hurt. Like if he missed 3 to 4 games in the season ain't right. That's always happened with Dallas.
I wasn't expecting it to be this early, though.
Oh, I was. I knew it was coming. Sorry.
Bro.
So is it a good thing that he got hurt game 1 instead of game 7?
Well, let's hope that's it and that's all.
Exactly. Quitter 215, what up? Says Dak's aim is so bad he couldn't even spit on Jalen Carter.
I don't even think it was that. I think he was scared to spit on Jalen because he didn't. If he would have spit, actually spit on Jalen would have knocked his head off. You hear me?
I get where y'all coming from, but just think about the sense of making fun of Dak Prescott. He's so inaccurate he can't even hit somebody with spit. Like that's you got to admit that's still got a little.
Like a crackhead and he lost all that weight, and he was up there looking like Tony Montana up there.
Now BD just said he wish he was out there.
Jake says, yeah, this is Dallas last year with us for sure. Hey, the good thing about it is he's not costing us a lot. Dallas ain't costing us a lot. And he can catch the ball. Jalen has good chemistry with him, so he's good for the team. It's just that if he's going to be your starter, you got to have a backup that is ready to play. You can't be like, we got Dallas, so we don't have to worry about tight end. You got to be like, we got Dallas and such and such. And Calcaterra has been that for us. I was concerned coming out of college because he had retired and then came back because of concussions, but he's been good since he's been in the NFL. So, hey, I'm good with it. As long as you stay healthy, I am cool with it. All right, so we are done with the updates. And you see, we're changing the format up for the updates. So we want to make it a little bit more fun for y'all. You don't need to sit here and just hear one person ramble off what they're doing. Like, we just go around, talk about some things we heard about going on and all that good stuff. So, we listening and we trying to make sure everybody's digging what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to move from there and go ahead and go directly into that preview for the game. the review for the game for this past week against the Arlington football team, Dallas Cowboys. So I'll do it in the form of a question first. This question is for everyone. We'll let the ladies go first. Ladies first. What did you like that the Philadelphia Eagles did in this game against the Cowboys?
You go first.
There was no turnovers in this game, so I guess that's always a plus. I thought the line played really, really good, except giving up that one sack. But Jalen, the main thing, Jalen made smart decisions in this game. He didn't rush throws. He didn't rush anything. If he knew nothing open downfield, he took off with his legs when he had space. So I mean, I like that that he made smart decisions. I mean, even though the receivers couldn't get open, but we're gonna get into that later. But I like that Jalen's smart decision making was a plus in this game.
Yeah, I have to piggyback off of that. I am noticing now that if Jalen don't see nobody open and he feel like he can't run, he will throw the ball away. I know we had a problem with him trying to hold on to the ball and try to figure out what he was going to do instead of just throwing it away in those instances. So I do like now that he's seeing, okay, nobody's open, I can't run, I'm gonna throw the ball away. I like pretty much the O-line was amazing. I felt like they protected Jalen. I felt like they moved the ball. We were able to do the tush push 2 or 3 times with ease. Of course, we're gonna get into the running situation, but other than that, like I think it was a smart decision by Jalen to make sure that he protected the ball, didn't turn the ball over, and threw the ball away. So I like that about the offense. Defense, I did like how they adjusted at the end of the game. I felt like the second half they came out and they started kind of locking down. Where it was no points allowed from Dallas on the second half. They basically had CD shook. Quignon on that side had him shook when he was on that side. I don't even think we even really heard from much of Ferguson. And then the other wide receiver he had a few catches. But I will say after the second half, they were able to lock down because at first it was a little rocky.
Benny? What you like?
What I liked about the game, we put Dallas in their place by giving them their first L of the season. I love the way that special teams game plan was to keep that ball away from Turpin and how they got down there and tackled. Didn't let him get off, gain any type of momentum. I like what I saw with Jordan Davis. I love what I saw with him. That him losing 30 pounds or 35 pounds this offseason, he was out there. It made a huge difference because he had to pick up the slack. I like that. And I love how we made that adjustment in the second half. Shut them down. They couldn't score. Thank you, CD, for putting butters on your fingers. I gotta send him an Eagles hat for that.
I liked the defense. I liked the dog and the guys that had the dog in them. I liked the fact that we went out without our by far best defensive lineman. And Jordan Davis stepped up, played the most snaps he had played up to that point in his career. Kind of really anchored that run and made it difficult for him. They had some plays on the ground, right? But he made it difficult for him. They were getting in Dak's face. He almost had a sack earlier, but I think just the amount of plays and the unexpected loss of Carter, it kind of affected the line, but they got it together and they did enough to start holding Dallas and help us, get the win. Obviously, offensive line. We can let offensive line every week. That's come on now. That's the lowest hanging fruit. That's the one that's about to fall off the branch every week because we know the line is going to do their thing. I did like Jalen's choice when to run, when to pass, and not worrying about the stats and not worried about proving people wrong by trying to outstat other guys. I also liked the responses from AJ and Devontae, even though they weren't getting the ball a lot. I liked the way they maintained, they blocked, they did other things, they still ran their routes, they understood. We just out here trying to win. Different weeks are different. I like the way we came out because essentially this is our first preseason game. Because they play like what, 2 or 3 series, all the first 3 games.
Mhm.
So you're still in that preseason learning everything mode because coaches don't want to play players in the preseason for a lot of teams. And I think it can be detrimental in the first couple of weeks. So if you can slide out wins in those weeks where you're still really going through preseason, it's always good. And we were able to do that. So those are some of the things, that I liked about the game. So got the likes. So this is where it gets fun. What did y'all dislike?
I'm gonna say I didn't like Petula's play calling. It was a C for me, a C plus. I didn't like the up the middle runs constant with Shayshawn Barkley. And I feel like Shayshawn should know, if you keep running up the middle, there's stuff in the middle. I mean, that left and right side was wide open. So that means you bounce back out and run to the left or run to the right, and you would have had the field open all day for several touchdowns. So that running straight up the middle, I didn't understand that. I didn't like that by Kevin Petula. I mean, yeah, Dallas most part did have AJ and Smitty locked down, but we know that AJ and Smitty are able to create space, especially AJ. AJ is very talented at creating his own space for himself. So I felt like we still could have schemed up some creative plays to get the ball to AJ because no matter if he is double team, he can create space. He's just one of those wide receivers that can do that. So I feel like there needs to be more creation when it comes to if they're not involved in the game or you feel like they're double teamed too much. Create plays where you can get them the ball, where you're faking players out and running certain routes where they're able to get the ball to get them more involved. I think we would have been up by a substantial lead if that would have happened. And not always depend on Jalen Hurts because I love when he run, but I'd be scared because that's how my boy got that concussion. We don't need Jalen out. So but yeah, that's what I didn't like. And number 2, of course, I didn't like Adoree Jackson. Straight garbage, hot garbage. Namni Asamoah number 2. And we just kept getting burnt on that side. And yeah, that's got to be fixed, man. That really does. So those are 2 things I didn't like. Keith.
I mean, what more can I say? You said it all. Like I didn't like the play calling. I just felt like this is all that's in your book. We got used to Kellen. Kellen would have been all over the place with this. Even with this offense, you already know how Kellen was last year. So and he get to play Dallas. Why not? That's his old team, man. And they said he couldn't be no head coach. Oh, he wouldn't do good. Dallas fans like, oh, y'all got Kellen Moore. Oh, y'all not talking now. Kellen Moore got a Super Bowl. So, I just feel like he needs to, I don't know, open a playbook some more, do some, stop hitting Madden, ask Madden for plays. So we not. That's how I was like, I was like, they really locked him down like that, or they just can't get open, or he just not scheming things. I said, there's no way Hurts ain't in that huddle like, yo, we got to get 11 and 6 involved. I'm sure he was in that huddle saying, all right, Kevin, what we doing here? We got to get these 2 involved. So I mean, I did like how Jalen, day one open, Dallas Goedert was, and we used him often and early. So I do like that. But for me, it's Kevin and Adoree that I didn't like.
Benny?
I'm gonna go with Key and Diva on that with the play calling. What pissed me off the most, I didn't like how they wanted to constantly run the ball try to run it up the middle. That's not the strength of this offensive line. You got to get these linemen to pull. Get them to pull. That's what made Saquon as say 2K last year. He was aggressive in the beginning, and then next year, he just started being conservative. I'm like, Was that him calling the plays? This is his plays, or was they Nick plays that Nick told him to run? Because it started to look so vanilla, and everybody running downfield. Like, come on, I didn't like that. Of course, I didn't like the way Sidney Brown was playing. He gets hurt again. Thank God he's never on my fantasy team.
If you pick Sidney Brown on your fantasy team, that's your fault.
I say, thank God he's not on
That's
my
what I'm
fantasy.
saying. No, I'm just saying, that's your fault.
My fault. You're right about that, brother. You are right.
You got no knowledge of football in that. You shouldn't be playing the fantasy now.
I put Chase on my fantasy team before Sid.
Right, his brother better than he is.
Facts.
And I didn't like how the Christian that Adoree was given these receivers. Like he really got speed to come up and challenge. The make the play, which you don't. You don't. It was just booty. The whole play calling was booty. Vic came in and did his job and made his adjustment, but it was just Adoree wasn't executing what Vic wanted him to do, and that pissed me off.
What pissed me off is the fact that Adoree Jackson stayed in the game.
Fact. He came back in the game.
There was no excuse to take a guy who clearly isn't getting the job done and say, we're going to leave you in the game and we're going to expect you to do something that you haven't showed us you could do in the first half. I mean, that's just what it is for me. Like, I have a problem when you do things like that. Like, why are we putting people in positions that they don't deserve to be in? He might have beat out Eli Ricks in training camp and stuff, but I mean, you're not better than Ja'Cory Bennett from what I've seen. Bennett was out there. I felt like, okay, we at least got a guy who can cover. They put you back out there. There goes the ability to cover again. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of my thing. Like, you got CD going off because he's in the slot and they're finding ways to get him lined up with Adoree Jackson because they know Adoree Jackson can't cover a slice of bread with peanut butter. And that's a problem, So decision making, I don't like coordinators who won't make the right decisions when you need to. Like, sometimes guys need to sit because they're not there, and they didn't do it. They let that man just be out there looking like burnt toast.
Mm-hmm.
And that was disappointing because you had an opportunity to really go out there and do some things in this week and show people some things in this game. And I don't feel like we took advantage of all the opportunities that we could have had to look really good in this game, offensively and defensively. Like everyone's talked about the run game. How difficult is it to say, Dallas did go pick up a big defensive tackle, so obviously the middle does look a little bit more plugged than normal. So maybe we're gonna do something different and run to the outside. Maybe we're gonna do a toss. Maybe we're gonna do a halfback trap or something, right? No, I form. Want to go I form, run right in the middle, to the left and to the right. When you see it's not working, you're supposed to adapt. And I just felt like offensively we didn't. But I'm not going to get too frustrated because it is a new coordinator. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he is a new coordinator. Say he'll be better once he, gets some more adept and more adapted. Now, if he's still looking like this 3 or 4 weeks from now, then we might have a problem. We might have to, come on here and say some different things about him. Let's just say that. But for now, those are some of the things. There's some others, but, we ain't going to sit here and just bag on what we feel like we didn't like the whole game. But, there's some things that definitely could have been better that they were not. So hopefully stuff will get cleaned up, man. Like I say, I don't want to nitpick too much because it is basically like the preseason. So, y'all, it is now time for your weakest link of the week. We'll go reverse order this time. Benny, who's your weakest link?
I really can't call him we all know Adoree is the weak link. But this was the weak link for me because it's kind of funny. Because it's really funny. Queion Mitchell. You the weak link, man. When you got that fumble, how you let Dak tackle you on the ground? That was funny. You couldn't jump over that, bro. Couldn't jump over him. Really? If Dak would have hit his ankles, Quinion was gone. But I really can't call him the weak link, though. But KP, the offensive coordinator, he's my weakest link.
I was about to say, if you're calling Quinion Mitchell the weakest link, maybe we need to re-explain what the weakest link is.
Yeah, I was just making a joke, but it's
KP.
It's Coach KP because he got annoyed and went conservative. You when you playing the Dallas Cowboys, you gotta throw the kitchen sink at them. I don't give a damn if Michael Parsons was still on the team. If they don't got their best player, you gotta throw the kitchen sink at them. You gotta put your foot on their neck. You gotta act like they are Santa Claus. Throw snowballs, throw mud balls, something. You gotta beat them down like a bad habit. But like you just said, Cool. This is his first time being a play caller. We got to give him the benefit of the doubt. But he was my weakest.
Diva, who's your weakest link?
My weakest link is the defense, only because we had 4 chances to get 4 or 5 interceptions, and them mugs dropped every single last one of them.
Facts.
That's my weakest link.
Can't argue with that. Key, who you got?
Dory Jackson, Mr. Doodoo Butter himself. He couldn't cover he couldn't cover a cold if Jesus gave it to him. So I don't know. And I was ecstatic when he went out. I'm like, oh, he got benched, and then I'm like, Vic, why he come back in? So I just feel like it just has to be his other chance to show us he can at least play a cover. Like Cool said in earlier, notice no teams ever re-signed him, and we wonder why.
Don't deserve another. You seeing what you get. That's what you're gonna get. Awesome.
Like we interviewed Mike Hilton. We worked out Mike Hilton. Why not? I'll take Mike, but then the only thing about that was Mike's a slot corner, and that would have moved Coop to the outside.
We ain't having that.
Weakest link. I thought about this. I had a couple of different people in mind for this, but there's only one way that I honestly can go, and that's going to be the guy that I think will never be a weak link again. That's Jalen Carter. You're the weak link because your dumb ass didn't play because you spit on somebody. You let somebody get you that mad to get you kicked out of the game. And you could say you was walking off and you were smiling, but if you were smiling, why you spitting? I don't spit when I'm happy. I spit when I'm pissed. So you were upset. It's okay to admit you was upset. You made a bad decision in the moment, and you're the weakest link because we needed you in that game, and we didn't have you because of something you did to kick yourself out of the entirety of the game. So you're my weakest link for that. Like I said, I don't ever expect you to be my weakest link again, but for this week, you definitely were the weakest link, sir. All right. Jake from State Farm says it was nice seeing Landon at practice today. Absolutely was. We always worry about Landon because that man, he could take some punishment, but sooner or later your body just like, hey, bro, I can't do it. But he was able to make it today.
Like I said to you before, Cool. He's that North Carolina toughness, man.
Yep.
That's
now,
that country toughness.
We go from weakest link to the elite performance of the week. All right, so our elite performance of the week. Diva, we have not started with you yet. So what is your elite performance of the week?
Jordan Davis. Y'all know that's my baby. I love Jordan Davis. I'm just so happy to see him finally do what we all on this podcast knew what he was going to do. Everybody else doubted the boy, and he ain't this, and he ain't that. Jordan Davis has always been an asset to his Philadelphia Eagles team, and now that he's in shape, he is really showing what he can do and what he will be. And I'm happy because my boy want that contract, and he gonna get it. So Jordan Davis was my elite performer for this.
All right, Key, who is your elite performance of the game, of the week? Excuse me. I changed.
Number one in your hearts, our quarterback, Mr. Jalen Hurts. Turnover free football. Didn't make no mistakes. Threw the ball away when he had to. When he had to use his feet, he ran. There was nothing available, he ran. He made smart decisions. So I'm gonna go with Jay Hurts.
I'm gonna go with one Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon got lined up on by all different wide receivers. Truthfully, that was because they was trying to get every matchup they could against Adoree Jackson, but still, against different receivers, Pickens, Lamb. He had a good game. He did not allow a lot of yards or a lot of catches. Did drop an interception when the receiver fell in front of him. If he caught that, he probably would have took that to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Did get tackled by Dak, but he did get the fumble. So while he did get tackled, he did get the fumble. So, played well, got the fumble recovery, almost had a pick. And he's definitely looking like the player that we believe he was going to be after the first season. So if he continues along this track, we're going to have us a great corner. And how we're going to have to clean up some cap room to pay this man in a few years. Who you got, Benny?
I'm going to pick somebody that y'all all overlook. Jahai Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't overlook him. I had to leave somebody.
This boy, oh my God. I have two. Jahai Campbell and the bald eagle. Who do you know going to run down Miles Sanders? Even though he trash.
Who I know was going to run down Miles Sanders? I honestly, about anybody on that team can run down Miles Sanders.
The fact.
Miles Sanders is slow. That's why we let him go, and that's why he couldn't even stay on with who? The Carolina Panthers. They didn't want it
down. And it's so funny how he was trying to make him fumble, and when he couldn't make him fumble, he just say, "Bam!" And then Jahai Campbell and the rest of the boys come in, and Campbell, forced the fumble with Quinyon recovered. But the one elite play that he made besides the forced fumble was that breakup in the middle of the field. Yo, this dude can cover a wide receiver. He was on a wide receiver. He's my elite player of the week of that game. He's everything. Everything's advertised with this boy. And of course, what school he come from? Alabama.
There's not too much to be proud about Alabama this year.
Not right now.
But I'll save that for a different conversation.
Yeah, I'll call you on that one, bro. I'll call you on that one. That's still gonna be my squad. Just like the Eagles.
You ain't supposed to change. You can't be on top of. Anybody can be a fan when you're on top. It's when you ain't that it matters. All right. So, ladies, gentlemen, I'm gonna pose this question, y'all. I'm not even gonna answer this question. This question is strictly for y'all. Are the Philadelphia Eagles going to be picking up anybody else you believe in free agency or via trade? And if so, you want to give a name or just a position? We'll start with Benny because it sounds like Benny is ready to go. Benny
like
said,
I
yes.
said, Denzel Ward. I got this funny feeling it's coming. It's coming. Because his contract is, and I'm not going to say it's big, but if you're going to make that trade to us, you got to make that contract a little where they're going to pay half the salary for this year. And the team that trades for him, and we got 10 more picks left? We don't need all those 10 picks, right? We don't need all 10 picks. All we need is 6 good picks? So how we got enough picks to make that happen with Cleveland? Cleveland is in rebuilding mode because they don't know who their quarterback is going to be. So I got this funny feeling about it. Maybe after this game, Sunday night, Monday morning, breaking news: Philadelphia Eagles made a trade with the Cleveland Browns for cornerback Denzel Ward and Digger CB2.
Diva.
Man, the only struggling position I see right now is that CB2. So hopefully it's Sunday night. Hopefully it's going to be Sunday night. Hell, I wouldn't even be surprised. I hope that it happens in the middle of the game. Trade that in the middle of the game. Okay? Because he ain't going to give you much of nothing. He ain't going to do nothing. Even though 2 of the wide receivers ain't going to be playing, that boy's still going to get burnt. So my main concern right now is that CB2 position, because that is the side of the ball we are the most weak on. That is our weakest link, is that side of the ball. And we got to get together if we plan on going any further in this season and hope to come out with some W's. Because, I mean, we got some teams that we got coming up, we got to play, and we got to be prepared, and we got to have a lockdown CB1 and 2. Period. Or you got to find somebody to give him help over the top and underneath, because he garbage.
He garbage.
Dude, better. Key in the building?
I think honestly a corner is going to be coming. I don't know who, but whether it's Gilmore, whether it's Santi Samuel Jr., Denzel Ward, they having it. I seen Jalen Mills is like, y'all need help? No, we don't need a safety. We need a corner.
No, we don't need you, bro.
We don't need you. Yeah, but I think the corner is going to come. If Jackson fumbles again or he messes up again Sunday, he's gone.
I think a safety. We need a safety. I'm not saying it needs to be Jalen Mills, but I think we need a safety for depth, because we did sign Mike Epps, but if I remember, I think he's on the practice squad. We did elevate him, I think, for this past game, but if we're going to keep him on the practice squad, you can only elevate him so many times. So I think somebody that we feel comfortable saying this is a guy that should be on the roster every week. Let's not forget, we're supposed to have a fullback, but he got hurt first play of the year. So they may be looking to bring a fullback in. It's probably not somebody we'd have to go trade for. Probably can find one in free agency, but maybe a fullback. Safety for possibility. And, of course, I'm going to echo everybody else's statement. Corner. I don't believe in Adoree Jackson. Adoree Jackson showed me, because you think about, like, you look at Eli Ricks and some of the guys in the preseason, you're like, all right, you've been in the league a couple of years, but you haven't really got to play. So you're going to struggle a little bit until you get into it, right? Because they don't play guys in the preseason like they should. I think you give them more opportunities. These are guys that may be able to contribute more than what you're getting from Adoree Jackson. And this is a league veteran. This is not a guy that's still learning. This is a guy that's been out there supposedly playing and starting for teams that nobody wants him. So I would say corner is probably the most immediate need. Safety and fullback is other positions to look at. And definitely don't want to say wide receiver because, shoot, we already got traded for 2 in the last 2 years. So we should be good there. So, I think those are the ones personally we'd be looking at.
And plus, when Jackson was in his prime, we was been supposed to have got him, but it didn't. If we get him now, he stinks.
Well, that's why, when you realize guys are not good, you get rid of them. That's the thing. Like, we want to be reclamation organization. You can't always be the reclamation guys. Sometimes you get a reclamation project, like, yeah, it ain't gonna work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just feel like we wouldn't be in this position now if we would have kept Isaiah Rodgers and then brought on Bennett.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Like, you had a man who didn't even want that much. And then the fact that you signed him for 3 years, he didn't play the first year, he played the second year, and then you let him go. So my thing is, what are we doing long term? Like, think about stuff long term. Like, stop bringing in players for 1 or 2 years. Can we get some people for long term? Because he should have been there long term. He didn't play his first year because of the gambling ban. He played the second year, played well behind Slay, and then you just let him slide on off to Minnesota. We wouldn't be in this position if you would have kept him, got Bennett. We would have been all right.
$16 million. We couldn't pay him 8 years for two times.
You know how that goes. You know how that goes. You know how that goes.
Always gotta do some dumb stuff, man. We can't never just add and build to what we got. We always gotta go.
Well, it's the same thing that a lot of people love about Howie is also his downfall.
Facts.
And that is the fact that he doesn't see players enough as players and importance. Sometimes I feel like he sees you as a number, as a cap number, right? I'm not going to pay more than this much for this person. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to get rid of this person or cut this person because if I get rid of this person, I can say this much so I can overpay Saquon Barkley. I've said all along this goes back to Saquon Barkley and them doing a new contract with him after 1 year. You had him under contract. He was the highest paid running back when you signed him. Why go back and redo the contract? That's more money that you took away. It could have been given to other pieces. And that's the thing. You know, you see value. Oh, he ran for 2,000 yards and he's this and he's that. So let's overpay him. Right? And I mean, I'm not saying Saquon Barkley doesn't deserve to get paid, but he got paid before the season.
Exactly.
A massive amount of money.
You didn't need to go back and give him more money, and you did. So that was money you took away from other players. That's the thing about Howie. Oh, I could just go and find someone to plug in because I'm Howie Roseman. Doesn't always work that way, Mr. Arterius Roseman, Howard Arterius. Doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you gotta say, "This is my people," and rock with them, and you don't always do that. That's
even the CJ trade. Like you could have traded him for another CB or another safety. You go trade him for Kenyon Green, who you cut twice. Like that was all that was pointless.
Kenyon Green should have never been on this team.
Exactly. That was a waste of a trade.
We could have got fourth and fifth round pick would have been better than that. A fifth and a sixth would have been better than that. So, you know, but CJ GJ should still be here. So what, he got a little attitude. You know, Victor had problems with his mouth. We winning. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to say, we winning, man. Let's win. We ain't worry about the stuff. Let's win. But we ain't do that. It is what it is. Good people, it's time. It is time to preview our game of the week, of course, because it's our game. Week 2, Eagles versus Chiefs. We're going to do it this way. I'm going to just go around and have you guys give me your thoughts on the game. Who you think's going to win the game, of course, which will be us. I'm sure everyone here has us winning. If not, wow, it's crazy. But we're going to start with you, Key. Your thoughts on this matchup with the Chiefs and keys that you see for the, no pun intended, keys that you see for the Eagles winning.
Well, I mean, all right, so the Chiefs are missing 2 receivers, Worthy and Rice, because injured because of suspension. Worthy because he got hurt. The Chiefs don't really run like that. I know they got Kareem Hunt and Pacheco, so I feel like the running game isn't going to really be effective. But Patty does know how to run out the pocket when need be, so we got to be ready for that. I feel like defensive line can get to Mahomes. We've seen it in the Super Bowl, same front, same linebackers. Just we added Jahad now, so he's going to be flying all over the place. And they got a rookie on the offensive line, so I feel like we can beat him up a little bit, rough him up a little bit to get pressure on Mahomes. Now that Smith is there now, so I feel a little bit better about the D-line. Carter's back, so I know they got hopefully Juju Smith-Schuster do not go wild on us because of Dory Jackson can't cover a cold. If he lets Juju have a game like CeeDee Lamb, it's a wrap. It's a done deal. You might as well just leave it. Just leave yourself in Arrowhead. Don't even go back home with the team. Don't even get on a plane. Just nothing. Just go. If you can't catch up to Juju Smith-Schuster. I know they got some other receivers, but I know Juju's another one that's like one of the main ones. So again, play smart, conservative football. I think it's going to be maybe a little bit more difficult for Saquon to run too, because they're going to be preparing for Saquon Barkley. So this is where we see This is where we're going to see AJ Brown and Smitty go crazy this game. Catches will be made this game, so AJ will have some catches. Hopefully Jake can continue to kick like he knows how to an Arrowhead. So I'm going to say the Eagles win this game. It's going to be a one-score game. I don't think it's going to be like the Super Bowl, 40-6. We all know it's 46. I'm going to say 24-17. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be low scoring.
Diva, what you got?
I think if we depended on Adoree Jackson, we saw when we played them the first time in the Super Bowl, Bradbury could barely hold down Juju Smith-Schuster, and Ballberry is in my opinion, better player than Adoree Jackson. So that is one of my major concerns. I feel like if we can't get it done on the D, which I feel like there's going to be pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Now it's not going to be the amount of pressure you saw in the Super Bowl because we don't have those key pieces that we had. You got a few new people added into the line. You got some rookies, so I don't feel like we're going to get the amount of pressure that we had in the Super Bowl. But I know there will be pressure with Smith being there, with Campbell, with Carter coming back. Now that Jordan Davis got a sack, as you can see right there. He got a sack on him last year, so I feel like he's gonna get another sack. My main thing too is just always that CB2. I think that eventually it's gonna have to be a shootout. I feel like if Saquon is shut down, I feel like that's when you bring in your AJ Dillons on certain plays short. You bring him in and let him just power through. You know what I'm saying? You bring in Bigsby. So you switch him up because of course everybody's gonna be looking for Saquon, but if you got Bigsby in there, you got Aaron, they don't know how to prepare for them because they haven't seen them. So that's when you use them in short situations. Even use AJ Dillon at the goal line sometimes. I would have liked to see him more in the last game. But I think you got to be creative this game. If it becomes a shootout where like it was in the first Super Bowl where you got Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts going back and forth, that means you got to make sure that you're getting your AJ, your Smitty, your Jahan Dotson. I would like to see Cooper in there a little bit. Let all them get open. You know what I'm saying? Use everybody on your offense, play smart ball, take care of the ball. Jalen's been playing really well, so I'm not worried about him at all. So I think that's really going to be the key to the game is just playing smart ball. It might have to be a shootout, but I don't think it's going to be much of a shootout. I got 27-24 Eagles.
All right, Benny.
Creativity is the key to this game. Creativity on both sides of the ball. Still got to worry about Kelsey. Just because he's up there, you still got to worry about him. He's the key. He will be the key for Kansas City if we do not get no pressure. So we got to be creative on how we get pressure on Mahomes. And offense, we gotta start doing these zone blocks. Run to the left, run to the right, run mainly to the left because that's where your beef is. You got Jordan and you got Big Hickory Landon. Let them maul these guys. Do some some zone blocking to make these if you want to load the box, start running to the left or the right. Stop running up the middle, trying to run up the middle because that's where you got Chris Jones right there. He a beast when it comes to stopping the run up the middle. But if you want to get them off the field, you want to tire them out, you got to start doing some zone blocking, some run zones. Jalen, I can see that he can probably repeat himself. I ain't gonna talk about the Super Bowl. Let's go back to the game that we played in Arrowhead a couple of years ago. The year we collapsed. He had a good game there. I see him having a much better game. I ain't gonna say he's gonna throw for 300 yards, but I can say he's gonna throw for maybe 250, maybe 4 incompletions. AJ get a touchdown, Devontae get a touchdown. Jalen gets 2 on the tush push. So I'm going 28-20.
I'm not gonna go score, but I'm gonna say I think we handily win. I think it's a 10+ point win for the Eagles. The main thing is take what you're given. I don't want to. So see, the narrative that's been running around all week is, AJ didn't really get the ball, and how many weeks is it gonna take for him to blow up if he doesn't continue to get the ball. Don't worry about none of that. That's white noise. What we need to be focused on is doing what we're given. If they're gonna try to take AJ away, go to Devontae. Make them try to take Devontae away, then AJ will be open, right? You want to move AJ around, give him some friendly routes, maybe do some rubs like we did a couple of years ago, back when we had Oz. He would come up and rub guys off and give you a little pick almost, and give guys a chance to just get that little bit of separation to get the pass. You want to get AJ passes, absolutely. You want to get Devontae passes, absolutely, but don't force anything. Take what they give you. They cannot take away AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts running, and Saquon Barkley. They can't take all that away. And Grant Calcaterra, because we won't have Dallas Goedert, but Grant Calcaterra does well when he plays. Jahan Dotson, right? There's enough weapons out there where you take what you're given. If they try to take away the main ones, then you go to the other ones. You make them have to change what they do. Defensively, you hit stick everybody. You lay wood. You make sure that you stay in your gaps. You don't over pursue. Stay in your gaps. Play smart football. And help Adoree Jackson. If you're going to put a guy out there that you know is not of the caliber that needs to be out there, you better send him help, Vic. Whatever safety's on their side needs to be back there helping, because Adoree Jackson cannot beat me in a one-on-one race. Not in pass. Without pass, he probably can. And, of course, I'm exaggerating. He'd blow me away. I'm exaggerating, y'all. Be clear. But Adoree has to be better, a lot better. I don't think it's a problem of, he needs to work on techniques. I think it's a problem of diminished skills as well as technique. And when you don't have either one, you shouldn't be playing or you shouldn't be starting. I think Jacorian Bennett needs to get more time in the game. I think if you give him more opportunities, you'll see that he's the guy that needs to be playing and not Adoree Jackson as far as starting. You want to keep Adoree, have him be the backup guy that comes in, whatever. But as a starter, this is not the guy that we need. He proved that last week. And if he comes out this week and has a fantastic game, then you shut me up and I say, okay, you had a bad one, you had a good one. What are we going to do week 3?
Right. You
come out, you have another bad game, we're going to be back and be talking about Adoree Jackson again next week. That's just what it is. Like, we have to be aggressive. We have to take it to Kansas City. And this is for Nick Sirianni. Nick, you love to get up a couple of touchdowns and then start doing stupid stuff. Holding the ball, just trying to take time off the clock. No, keep scoring. Keep running the ball, keep scoring. This is a statement game early in the year. We need this win. I think we can win by a touchdown and field goal easily. 10 points is not a lot, but I think that gives us a level of comfort. You get under 10 points and you got Patty Mayo and the refs on your back, you never know how it's going to happen. Because it's not, let's be clear. Yeah, they didn't really give them a lot of calls in the Super Bowl, but you think it's going to happen every time? Absolutely not. So go out here, take advantage, get your lead, build up your points, and continue to score when you have the opportunities, so that when you get a couple of them where they come from calls, you're still good. And Eagles defenders, the young defenders, no flexing when you tackle. Tackle the guy, get up, and go back to the huddle.
No,
thank you.
All kinds of just.
Thank you.
So just don't even do it.
Nolan.
Or even if you haven't. So. That's all I got is what I think will allow the Eagles some success. So, guys, any last thoughts? Any shout-outs you want to give before we roll up out of here for the evening?
Well, I want to give a shout-out to all my fans here in Philadelphia. Don't forget to order your new joint, your Philly your Philly Eagles joint, hot off the press. Me and someone else is the only one that has this design. Y'all can find me on Facebook at Benny Boom. Just type up Benny Boom. But you got to have a mutual friend. If you don't have a mutual friend, just send me a message and inbox, and I chime you in. You can also find me here on YouTube, Benny Boom 68. I will be start doing some live videos, or doing the video, not live videos, but doing videos to show y'all how I make my shirts and how I make my hats. Don't forget, Benny Boom 68, the Mad Wizard, the Mad Design. I'm gonna tell you this: you can't find it online, you can't find it in the store. You're gonna find it one place at Benny Boom's Design.
Ben, don't give him too much for free though. Don't give away too much free game.
Right. Don't show him everything now. Don't let him in on the sauce now.
You know what I'm saying? Diva, anything from you?
Fly Eagles fly. Y'all know what to go out there and do come Sunday. Do your thing. Play smart. Do it right. And let's get this W.
Keep.
Play football like we know how to play Eagles way. Like Jalen Hurts say, the main thing be the main thing. We're gonna the rinse due. So the rinse due Sunday. So let's take it to them one play at a time. Just be smart about it. So I think we'll be all right. Hopefully I don't gotta bring out the blood pressure cuff this game.
Just keep it beside you just in case. You never know with this team.
Man, you gonna have to bring it out at least at some point in this game. You know how they do. Yeah, y'all can find me. Hit the link tree right there. That'll tell you all the places I am. But 2 channels I want to make you aware of: at Eagles Elite Podcast on YouTube and at Real Play Callers on YouTube. Got shows there between those 2 channels. Monday and Friday on at Real Play Callers. Monday is at 6:30. Friday, right now it's at 8. That might change to 7:30, but right now it's 8 o'clock. On Tuesdays and Saturdays. No, Wednesdays and Saturdays, Eagles Elite channel. We got Eagles Elite, of course, right now. Saturday, NFC Beast, where we're talking everything NFC East, the Beast division in the NFL. And the one thing I always remind people of on that show is there's only one division that has every team that's won, not just one, but 2 championships at least. And until you get like that, you're not as good as, and you can't be better than the NFC Beast.
Tell them again, cool.
Oh, I tell them again on Saturday at 9 p.m. Tell them again. And we got a couple of comments, and then we're going to get up out of here, y'all. So, our big brother,
What up, bro?
Kane, says, hey, fam, love y'all. What's up, bro?
Love you too, man.
Yeah, right. I'm just playing. I love you, bro. I might get a call for that. I'm going to get a call.
Yeah, you're going to get a call for that. You already know.
In about 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to get a call for that. But as always, y'all, make sure that you like, share, subscribe. Share this joint with like 5 or 10 of your friends. We all Eagles. We try and make things happen. You know what I'm saying? And all that. Oh, yep. See? He talking about laugh out.
Yeah, you're going to get a call. You already know.
As soon as this show ends.
About, bro?
As soon as this show ends, yeah. But make sure you share. And as always, it is never where you start, good people. It's always where you finish. And with that, we're done with another episode of Eagles Elite. Make sure you're with us next week. It's going to be even more fun. We out.